Welcome to Tree Dog Tuesday, only on the Fueled by Joy Working Dog Podcast.
Hi, everyone. Wade Graskowitz here, owner of Joy Pet Foods here in Illinois. Just want to reach out today and first of all, thank everybody that supports Joy Dog Food. We appreciate everything that every single customer for Joy does for us. We're still a small, family owned pet food company, USA made products, born and raised right here. Another reason I wanted to jump on here today is hunting season's in full swing, and this time of the year, you'll learn that, and I did too, if you start seeing your dog with no stamina, no energy, weight loss, issues with the hair and the coat, and after 2 or 3 days, your dog just doesn't want to come out of the dog box. Guys, there's an issue. And I just want to challenge you guys, if you're not feeding Joy Dog Food, give us a try. I'm very confident that if you give us a try and you're feeding a product that you're not satisfied with or your dog's not satisfied with, once you try Joy Dog Food, you will not switch back. You won't. And if something happens and you're having issues, please pick up the phone and call 1-800-245-4125 and personally ask for me, Wade Graskowitz, the owner. And again, thank you very much for your support of Joy Dog Food.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Tree Dog Tuesday. Of course, you guys are watching the video edition. Some of you are listening to it on the Fueled by Joy podcast network. And as the folks that are listening to it or watching it rather, on Cane Stream Media, you can see office is a mess. I am here at home. We are preparing to leave for Youth Nationals. We are headed out tomorrow morning. Got both kids. You see Hazel in the background there. She will not be attending this year. This will be her first year without going to Youth Nationals since we got her. And I don't think she looks all that sad about it. She's comfortable there on the couch. That is her couch. There she sits. Kids will be hunting Raven and little Ralph. And yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing everybody down there. That is coming up. If you guys have time, go to Paducah, Kentucky, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Get with Steve Yant and go help the kids and Mr. Yant and everybody there at the Paducah Club judge these kids. It's very important that we give back. I will not be able to judge with two kids hunting. I'm hoping to be able to guide if Steve needs me. And so, yeah, we're always short on judges. It'll be the same way at the Youth World Championship. And yeah, we don't know when that is yet. We don't know if they're going to have it the weekend of Fall Super Stakes, which I hope they do not, or the weekend before, which definitely has my vote. I think that makes the most sense. I know they're worried about getting judges, but we did it before the World Hunt for a long time. We always made it work, and that way the kids get a standalone event. So, yeah. Help judge a youth cast. It's important, especially now that I'm older with with young kids hunting in it. I can really see the importance more now than ever. So go help them out. We do have a short show for you today. I am leaving this week. We have a lot to do. Another short announcement. Scott Engel versus Chris Saunders. That deal has been signed. It is ready to go, I believe. We don't have the exact date finalized yet or the time, but we are hoping to bring that to you live for all the Cane Stream members. That is going to be a good one. Who knows? I'm guessing Saunders is going to hunt flesh. I do not know what Scotty's going to hunt. You got Saunders just outside the top 10, and you got Scotty. They're sitting, I believe he's sitting 8th, 7th or 8th. So going to be a big bump in the rankings no matter what at the end of that hunt. Members can view that hunt live on the Cane Stream Media YouTube channel. That should be a good one. There is a short video there on our social media that's pinned to the top. Tells you how to be a member, especially if you have an iPhone, which is the only anybody trying to join on an iPhone seems to have some trouble. But we go through the steps on how to do that, and so that's right there on the Facebook page if you just search Cane Stream Media. If you don't want to become a member, make sure and like and subscribe on all the videos on Cane Stream. You get to see them more often, and plus it helps us with the algorithm and everything. That we're trying to build that organically. I know there's other channels with hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff like that, but a lot of that is not quite organically grown. Some of it's bots, some of it's whatever. We're trying to do it a little differently, and so far so good. You guys have been great. The EHS has really helped Cane Stream. Cane Stream has really helped with PKC and a bunch of other organizations and stuff like that too. So it's important to like, subscribe, join, all that good stuff. Plus, you're going to see some cool stuff. We got Dual Murphy Dog Life coming up. We have multiple EHS hunts this summer. Another EHS World Championship hunt in October. That should be a good one. Looks like it's going to be Krausen versus Strickland. Krausen's the #1 contender. He's 1-0. He's got no reason to be bumped. Up until then, we're going to go ahead and lock that hunt in. It will be Ryan versus John for another belt. You can't see the belt, but it is sitting up there on top of my little mini fridge. I'm going to deliver that to John Strickland. We'll get some pictures of it too. It's really cool. Got his name on it. EHS World Champion. It's big. It's a 6-pound belt. Looks like he just won a heavyweight championship of the world. It is pretty cool. Strickland's excited to get it. I'm glad to give it to him. So, but topic today, we were talking about. I just got done judging over at the Memphis, Missouri $2,500 Pro Classic. Judged early Friday, late Friday, and early Saturday. I believe Matt Barnes took the late round on Saturday. So we were over there Saturday afternoon. Hensley had fried a bunch of fish. We were all just sitting around cutting up, talking dogs. Davin York, Cable, Duel, Brent Robinson, Kurt, everybody was out there. And we were talking Echo and what makes a dog great. Now, Davin took it as I was knocking on Echo, which I'm not. We all know what kind of dog Echo is. No knock on him. I've not had one that good on the end of my leash. I hope to someday. Let's just get all that out there. But every dog has a hole. Every dog has a knock. I didn't hunt with Meltdown enough to know what he was. But I've hunted with some really good, some greats. When you're looking at, the top 5 dogs currently still running, you're looking at Venus and Spice and Crash, and I got to hunt with Melvin before he got killed early. Z, Ruby, which Ruby's gone too, but some really, really, really quality animals. And there was always 1 or 2 things that set them apart, and 1 or 2 things that kept them from being just pure dominant. I think probably when you're thinking of pure dominance, you think of Meltdown. And if you look at the top 10 coonhounds of all time, or top 10 male coonhounds of all time, I put him 1. And this is just off what he won and what he did. But Echo got a mention, did not make the top 10. Scotty was not happy with me about that either. But here's the reason. Echo's hole is he doesn't always want to go tree coons. Because when that dog wants to go tree coons, good luck. Good luck beating that joker. He is quick. He is accurate. He's one of the fastest dogs on the planet when he's right. But he just didn't want to all the time. He would spend time getting away from dogs. He would spend time doing foolish stuff, on the few casts that he did lose. And that was the knock on him. And so we were talking about what makes a dog great. And then I was thinking of this subject, since then on the drive home and all this stuff. And what separates the great ones from just the really good ones? Now, I got to judge Crash Friday night in the late round, Saturday night in the early round. The Saturday night early round cast was a good one. Bonnie, Louie, Crash, and Venus. Venus got the W there. It was kind of a messed up cast. Everything went the wrong way except for Crash. Crash spent some time on the leash. Um, Venus spent like she does. There's Venus's hole. She's out of pocket too much. She spends too much time getting away from dogs. No, don't get me wrong, she's awesome. She's great. But if she were to worry about treeing coons instead of what's going on around her, she would win more than she has, even though she's won, I don't know how much she's won, $150,000 or better. If you're counting non-sanctioned hunts, maybe it's even higher. I don't know. Bonnie is about the same way. She's getting where she wants to be away from dogs. I remember when Rain won the truck here at the Pro Sport hunt. Semifinals, I'm judging. Kurt's hunting Whitey, Zach's hunting Bonnie, Nikki Hale's in the cast. I can't remember the fourth one. And Bonnie trees another coon. Whitey's treed a couple coons. Bonnie's treed a couple coons. And we get Bonnie. The wind's blowing like crazy. It's hard to hear these dogs, hard to judge them. And Whitey has been treed in. Whitey's got him. He's upwind of us. We can hear him good, even though he's crazy deep. He's a mile something. And Kurt gets him treed in. And Zach needs to recut. Bonnie has to go into the wind. She has to. That's the only way we're ever going to hear Bonnie again. And she's got, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe to tree another coon to beat Whitey. And she very well can do it. That's one of the best females out there. But she wouldn't go towards a dog treat. I don't care if he was a mile and a half away. She's not going that way. She's going to wheel around and go behind you. And it cost her right there. It's cost her a lot of times. Now that getting away from dogs and being lonely and doing all that stuff has won her a lot of money too. So what makes, in my opinion, and this is what I was trying to tell David and all them guys sitting up there, and a lot of them agreed with me. In my opinion, what separates the really good dogs from the great dogs are, the focus. It's all about focus. When you think of Crash, who, congratulations to Duel, he gets in Friday night, hunts it off, wins it all, wins another $8,000. He's only $11,000 from Z. And so one of the things that makes Crash great, and one of the greats, is that he is always focused from the time you turn him loose to the time you throw him in the truck on just going out and treeing coons. You don't see him really blow out trying to get away from dogs. You don't see him leave if something covers him. I haven't seen him cover a coon on a hot track, but it's just not, I'm sure he has. That's one of the things that makes Crash really good. And in that cast, Venus ended up winning. Crash had a circle tree when he needed a coon to win, and then he had 30 minutes to tree another one off the recut. But it was a bad break. We had to walk into a place that was so thick to the last place we heard Bonnie. Bonnie gets treed. We get to Bonnie. We can hear Venus treed. Crash gets treed maybe a minute and a half after the hunt was over, and probably has another coon to win it, but it didn't matter. Venus treed 2 coons. She looked really good. Congratulations to Brent and Finley. But what makes Crash that good? Here's an 8-year-old dog. I believe Crash is 8 now. Still one of the best on the planet. Still focused on treeing coons every time you turn him loose. And one thing about it is, he's got the talent to go with it. He's really good at it. And so that helps. But that's what made him this great this long, is focus. He is always focused on treeing coons. I've seen him do a few stupid things, but as a whole, that was what put him in the position that he has today. And so it's no different than any other sport. You can take a middle of the road talent guy in baseball, hockey, basketball, football, and if they've got 10 times the work ethic as a guy that's better than him, to an extent. I mean, you're not going to take a 5-foot overweight guy and he's going to really focus on basketball harder than everybody in the world and be good at it. but they say that what is the cliche? Hustle beats talent when talent don't hustle, all that stuff. And to an extent. Now, Echo was the exception when he was right. Echo was so talented, so quick, so good at treeing coons that it wouldn't matter. I mean, he was just that talented. And so imagine if you got that in the mindset of one of these dogs that's just completely focused on tree and coons all the time, what would you have? Imagine if Echo only wanted, if he woke up thinking about tree and coons and went to bed thinking about tree and coons, no matter what was going on around him, whether there were dogs there, whether there was some junk to run, whether there was whatever. I mean, how crazy would that be? And we've seen multiple dogs like that. He's not the only one. Now, he's the only one that's won the $100,000 hunt and 2 organizations and the Black Widow truck and all that stuff too. But I got a couple of others knocked down here, and you think of Wipeout Hunter, one of the most talented dogs in the world, and he's won plenty. Don't get me wrong, that dog has won a bunch too. I would love to have him. Still trees coons like crazy. I believe he's 9 years old too, coming 10. I think he's 10. I believe he's 10 this summer sometime. I think he's getting close to 10 years old. And I hunted with him last winter, dog treed like 7 singles in an hour or something crazy. But you get him in a cast, you get him with a different handler, other than Zach sometimes. You get him here, you get him there, and then all of a sudden, Hunter's good. Hunter don't want to focus on tree and coons. He want to focus on what the other dogs are doing, who's behind him, who's leashing him up, what he can get away with. Maybe he'll bump a coyote and run it around for a little while. He'll do that some. And what could he have been if he had the focus of, say, a Ruby, who was, in fact, there's a good example. That's what you get when you get a dog with a lot of heart and drive and focus, and you get, hold on a second, I'm messing with my phone, and you get the talent to boot, you end up with Ruby. And here's Ruby, who was the winningest dog of all time for a while. She came along late in the big pro classic game, just like Meltdown did. You get a Meltdown. You get a dog that, imagine if Dustin had him today and he wasn't running up and down the road at Labor Day Classics and Bear Creek Classics and Lone Star 5000s and hunting him at every open event and hunting him through the week and all that stuff. What could Meltdown have won, with 3 $100,000 hunts every year? 2 in PKC, 1 in Pro Sport, with all these truck hunts, with all this stuff. Meltdown, by all accounts, was always focused on tree and coons for the most part. And so, yeah, what makes a great dog is a lot of times just a fraction of something. The difference between a really good dog at one of these pro classics that'll win on occasion, that'll do some things that will make your head spin and you say, man, that's a really good dog. And then maybe it's down for 2 or 3 weeks, or it's, maybe it has a bad summer or a bad fall or something like that. And then it kind of comes back around, or sometimes they just disappear. Sometimes these dogs are a flash in the pan and they get burnt out. And, there's a bunch of other stuff going on with them that is all caused from not being focused. Now, we hear thyroid, um, tick disease, a million other things whenever we hear all this stuff. Hey, don't give me that crap. Some of these dogs, you could have gave Meltdown every tick disease on the planet and a low thyroid and whatever. He's probably still gonna hustle around there and do his best to tree coons. I mean, you could have cut Probate's rear leg off, and I bet she still gets out there with her Likia and 3-legged, and still does her best. And like in the case of Probate, there was a dog with all kinds of heart, but she wasn't focused on tree and coons either. She would run all night. She would run junk. She would bark her full head off. She would do all kinds of stupid stuff. But when she wanted to tree coons, she'd beat your brakes off too. So, what's the point of all this? Well, the point is, I guess, is what I'm looking at. When I'm looking at a young dog, or I'm looking at a dog to campaign in some major hunts, you don't realize whether that dog is focused on tree and coons all the time or not until you get him away from the house, till you get him in these certain situations that he's uncomfortable with, or she. And then you know exactly what you got. I've sold a lot of young dogs. I've hunted a lot of dogs for people that were, just in my experience, you think of a dog like Bella, who wasn't always the best or scent, wasn't always the best at treeing coons, but was always out there trying to tree coons, and she would beat you. Those females won me a lot of money. Um, just for the simple fact that while there were other dogs, worried about what's going on around them, um, maybe tree a couple quick coons and then go goof off and do something else, or had a lot of downtime, dogs like that will come back and beat you. So if you think you've got something really great, if you think you've got the next Echo or the next Hunter, another dog that got blown up that had all kinds of talent in the world is Trader's Aftershock. Shock was one of the best dogs at treeing coons I've ever seen in my life. Still is. Long as he's not in a cast. Now you put him in a cast, he won't even get treed. He's been like that since he was 6. He's 10 now, or 11 or something like that. Been that since he was probably 5, 4 or 5. He just quit getting treed in a cast. So yeah. So if you think you've got the next Echo, the next Hunter, the next Shock, the next Meltdown, the next Ruby, all of that, you don't know until you're out there. Me and Duel and Zach and them guys were talking the other night. We were walking through that thicket at, midnight. It's hot. There's no coons moving. It's tough to tree coons. We treed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coons, I think, in 2 hours. That's not a lot for Northeast Missouri. You seen the late round on that night. I don't know how many coons they treed, but the scores were 950, 650, 450, 250, something like that. They treat a bunch of them. And so you get these guys that see that cast and think, well, dog only treed 2 coons in 2 hours and it still gets a W. My dog can do that. But can it do it when you pull it off a tree 8 hours from the house? It's treed a coon out of the truck. There's 3 other dogs scattered out through all the country running, barking. There's 4 strangers standing around you, and you have to recut that dog, and it has to go through all that traffic and find its own to win it. You got one of those? Well, you don't know until you get it out there. And so, I don't know. It was a topic I thought of today and yesterday, and while we were at that hunt. All these dogs have holes. Yes, they're all great, but give me focus over talent. And I think you're going to do more damage in the long run. Now, some of them, like this one on the couch behind me, was always focused, always wanting to go tree coons, but just wasn't good enough at it to compete at a super, super high level. Now, she won plenty. She won a lot of youth hunts with Jace. She's done a lot of good things. She's a good little dog. But she ain't Echo. She ain't Hunter. She ain't Shock. She ain't Ruby. She ain't those. She's a good dog. But the difference between her and a great dog was talent. And maybe just a little bit of small stuff. But anyway, you don't know what you got until you get it out there. Focus beats talent any day unless that talent is really focused, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's it. All I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Remember, we have Working Dog Wednesday tomorrow. We have live coverage from the Youth Nationals on Cane Stream Media. We have an EHS hunt coming between Scotty Engel and Chris Saunders. We have the $100,000 hunt at Junction, Illinois. I'm hoping to take Little Ralph down there and can compete. Hopefully I'm in the Final Four. If I'm not, I will be filming the Final Four. If I am, someone will be filming the Final Four, hopefully, if they hunt. Either way, I'll be down there. I'll try to get you guys some coverage of the $100,000 hunt live from Junction, Illinois. I believe that's the last weekend in June. This weekend we have Youth Nationals, so pay attention to that. Congratulations to all the winners from this past weekend and all the organizations, UKC, PKC, Pro Sport. Yeah, good stuff coming up here and on Cane Stream. So you guys have a listen, have a watch, and we'll see you at the next one.